for us to kind of win that Champions League epitomised everything we'd been working towards the last couple of years.
As captain for the Republic of Ireland, a Champions League winner and one of Arsenal's legends, Katie McCabe has carved a name for herself with her skill, determination and leadership both on and off the pitch.
We'd never scored or been in a World Cup before, so to give Irish fans and people back home that moment to kind of celebrate our goal was really special.
In this exclusive interview, Katie shares her journey from grassroots football to leading her national team, the people who have guided her along the way and the obstacles she's had to overcome to reach the top.
I was playing senior football at the age of 14, 15 with Raheny, so you're coming up against women that are stronger than you, faster than you.
She also opens up about balancing life as a professional athlete with the personal side of her world. This episode gives fans an inside look at her drive, her influence on the next generation, and the mindset of one of football's most resilient and inspiring figures. For She's a Baller, this is Katie McCabe's point of view.
For me, I work so hard and all year round, and the sacrifices you make not seeing your family, I think that really made me determined to kind of push myself. Hi, I'm Katie McCabe. I'm a professional footballer for Arsenal and the Republic of Ireland. This is my point of view with She's a Baller in collaboration with WUCL.
Katie, welcome to Point of View with She's a Baller and WUCL. We're going to jump straight into the questions. I appreciate you've got quite a busy schedule at the moment.
No, good.
Can you tell us a little bit about where you're from and what your childhood and teenage years were like growing up?
So I grew up in a place called Kilmanagh in Tallaght, Dublin. I am one of 11 kids, so big family. I've got 6 sisters, 4 brothers. So yeah, absolute carnage growing up. But wouldn't have had it any other way. Sporty background, both my parents were big into athletics and football, so I think that's where we got, well, all my siblings kind of got our competitive genes, and yeah, very happy family, with obviously the mayhem attached to it as well. But yeah, even to this day, we're still so close, which is yeah, really special.
And what was it like growing up with so many siblings? Were you doing sort of 5-a-sides? Like, what was the vibe like?
Yeah, it's funny because I guess because there's such a big age gap between the oldest and youngest, everyone had like a buddy almost, whether it was older or younger than them, growing up. So there was always that sibling growing up where you had kind of a special connection with a special bond. And only now is obviously everyone's kind of becoming adults. I think the youngest now is 17, turning 18 soon. So yeah, you can see now the dynamic in everyone's personality kind of interchanging. So it's really interesting to see and kind of look back on and seeing how kind of different we were growing up. But yeah, always so supportive. You always had a mate. I obviously, I had friends growing up, but I think because the bond was so close as a family and because we had so many brothers and sisters, that was who I depended on and who I leaned on if I was ever maybe going through some struggles or whatnot. So yeah, that's definitely yeah, still the same to this day, to be honest.
And do they come to quite a few of your games?
Yeah, of course. They're all at big kind of milestone games in my career. When we won the league with Arsenal, my sister had come over. When I captained Ireland for the first time up in Northern Ireland, they all came up, a big gang of them in a couple of cars. Yeah, I mean, Champions League Final, those big moments in my career, qualifying for the World Cup, there was always at least a couple of them there, always showing their support. So it's great because you can kind of, you don't have them all in one go, so one will be at one game a few weeks, then you'll see another. So yeah, it's good like that.
And have you managed to sort them out with some free tickets, I'm assuming?
Of course, they wouldn't be coming over if they had to pay.
And who do you think your biggest role models were growing up?
You know what, I looked up to my older brother so much, Gary, and my dad, in terms of football and of why I kind of first fell in love with it. They were kind of the first two to put a ball at my feet or introduce me to kind of and this is when I was maybe 5 or 6, sort of mini World Cup tournaments throughout the summer. And yeah, that's kind of where I fell in love with football and fell in love with the idea of that sport. And then obviously as I got older, my brother had such a great career over in the League of Ireland, and I'd go and see him every Friday night, playing for Shamrock Rovers. And then I opened up to like the Damien Duffs when he was representing obviously Republic of Ireland. And then when I found out what women's football was, it was more so the Emma Burns as well, that the passion she showed playing for her country and what she achieved playing for Arsenal is something I've always admired, and I've always been really outspoken about. And that was something I wanted to do one day, was to be like her and represent Ireland and Arsenal. And I'm very lucky that I've been able to do that.
And what would you have done if you hadn't played football?
Listen, I worked in Nando's before I signed for Arsenal, and yeah, they gave me the opportunity of my first job, which I was very grateful for. I've still got an amazing relationship with Nando's, and whenever I go home, they always look after me with some free peri-peri chicken.
And have you got a Nando's black card?
I do. Yeah,
Really?
I know. I remember when I started working for them, there was this chat of a black card, and I was thinking, wouldn't that be cool, like one day to have a black card and just like get free Nando's while I was making other people's Nando's? Yeah, I think the link up happened maybe last year. They found out I worked for them back in the day, nearly 10 years ago now. So yeah, they sorted me out.
And you mentioned sort of having to juggle obviously work alongside football, but how did school fit into things? Yeah,
I mean, I loved going to school because I loved like seeing my mates and just kind of having the crack, really. Not the education side, unfortunately, but I loved just going and playing different sports, bringing that kind of competitive edge to my year group, especially in like high school, secondary school, we'd call it over in Ireland, and kind of getting everyone going that wouldn't normally play sports. Like some of my friends that would like turn their nose up at sports, I'd be like, no, come on, you'll have a good time getting them moving, getting them exercising. And that was something I love to do, to bring people together. So I enjoyed that side of skill. I wasn't very like the best academically, but now when I have teammates coming from Spain or Germany and they have the skill of like learning languages and they can speak 2-3 languages, I'm like, I should have listened in Spanish class when I was growing up, but it's never too late. Who knows? I could start speaking Spanish or something one day.
What were you like at school? What was like your personality like at school?
Oh, you'd have to ask my teachers and my mates, to be honest. I would say they would think I was quite cheeky, and they would always say I'd be able to talk myself out of a situation somehow, and I'd keep the teachers on side because some of the teachers would run a lot of the sports teams, whether it's like basketball or football, and they'd let me away with maybe not doing homework or a couple of essays here and there because I'd be playing. So, but yeah, I love skill, and yeah, they're great kind of memories to look back on for sure.
Love that. And what's one thing most people wouldn't know about your journey?
Maybe that like I wasn't always at Arsenal. I went to Glasgow. I don't know, maybe people like, because it was such a long time ago. I think, yeah, that was a massive step in my development as a football player, leaving Arsenal to go away and play and get game time. And I don't know whether there's like a narrative around like loan moves, or when young players come to big clubs, like they fail if they don't start straight away, but not at all. Like it's just another opportunity for you to go and kind of compete against senior experienced players within the league, and it's just kind of another step on people's journey. So yeah, that was something that I've always been grateful for Glasgow for, was to allow me those 6 months to come and play and enjoy my football and gain a lot of confidence back. And yeah, I was able to return to Arsenal in a different headspace mentally and physically as well. So it was a massive part of my journey for sure.
And as part of your journey, obviously you're a Whoop ambassador, Whoop user.
Yes.
A very avid Whoop user, keeping track of all your data. How has it made sort of life as an athlete easier for you? Yeah,
I mean, I think we're 4 or 5 years now going strong. I remember seeing it and kind of seeing the science behind it a couple of years back, but looking at how much it's developed and the particular interest they've taken in sort of the menstrual cycle side of our game, and seeing how our hormones change as female athletes and how that can impact your performance is something that I've kind of really zoned into, especially the last year and a half, which is it's really important. So you can kind of squeeze those extra percentages within your training session, gym, on the pitch, but also be mindful of when you actually kind of need to taper down, and if there is a day off available, take that day off to let your body recover. So yeah, it's something that I've definitely looked at. I'm checking it after games, see my outputs, my sleep, recovery. It can detect also like you picking up like an illness, which is crazy, like in terms of your increased heart rate as well. So I had a bit of a red zone last week, and I was thinking, what's going on here? But yeah, I'd ended up picking up a little bit of a kind of a flu last week, and yeah, was able to get back in the green zone just in time for our game on the weekend. So it's it's something that I'm really passionate about, and that I think so beneficial for me and towards my performances in training and in games.
And does it get quite competitive when you're comparing your data to other people in the team?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of different groups, because you can make groups. So we've got our Irish group, we have our Arsenal group, and then I've got like a family group and stuff like that. So in Arsenal, you kind of see who's been sleeping well, who's been working the hardest in training, and who's recovering then after. So yeah, it does get quite competitive, especially after a training day, and someone's at the bottom of the charts. We say they've taken an easy one, so they get a bit of stick, I suppose.
If you'd like to out anyone, please feel free. Safe space.
Caitlin, to be honest, during training week.
We'll talk a little bit about your club journey. Obviously, you've been at quite a few clubs, as you just mentioned. Obviously, you've been at Arsenal since 2017. Before that, you're at Raheny
2016.
United. 2016,
Yeah.
apologies. Before that, you're at Raheny United between 2011 and 2015. Can you talk to us a little bit about your experiences with Raheny? You were unable to assign a contract to the club until you turned 16, but went on obviously to represent the club in the Women's National League's first season. But yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, no, it was. I'd been playing with the lads up until I was under 13s, 14s, and then I had to stop. And then it was just through like a friend of a friend that said, "Oh, why don't you come out and train with us?" But I'm south side of Dublin and Raheny's north side, so I was like, I'm 14, I don't drive, like, so the logistics of it wasn't really going to work until I met my friend Rebecca Cray, who a few years older than me, had a car, drove, so I just kind of give her petrol money, and yeah, off we'd go out to training. And yeah, I think my development was massive because I was playing senior football at the age of 14, 15 with Raheny, so you're coming up against women that are stronger than you, faster than you, like smarter than you, have way more experience, and I think that really made me determined to kind of push myself and challenge myself and try to get better and better. And yeah, I slotted into the team nicely due to having such a good group of girls, and those girls I'm still like best friends with to this day. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We were really successful in Ireland. Our big competition was Peamount United at the time, so it would always be Raheny, Peamount going kind of neck and neck for the league title or All Ireland League Cups as well. So they were our enemies at the time. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Massive part of how I got to play for Arsenal, because before I signed for Arsenal, I'd obviously done so well with Raheny and got picked up by the senior manager at the time for Ireland, and she kind of caught me into a couple of camps and played me and backed me, and only because of that then did Arsenal kind of spot me for representing my country. So it all kind of ties into one, which is it's pretty cool when you kind of look back on it.
You had so much success at Raheny, so you won 2 league titles, 3 consecutive FIA Women's Cups, and represented the club at the Women's Champions League. I mean, a lot of great memories there, but what would you say is your happiest one?
Oh, there's so many. There was such a great camaraderie within the group. We didn't get paid, we didn't have expenses. Everything was just your own hand in your pocket, like paying for lunches, buses, like everything. You just done it for the love of the game, and that's why I think we were so successful, because everyone wanted to be there, everyone wanted to be part of the team and win at all costs for the club. So that's something that I'll always treasure, that camaraderie within that team. But in terms of the successes, I mean, we won our a massive game at the Aviva Stadium for the FAI Cup, and yeah, that was incredible, and I loved it because I was able to kind of play a big part in how we won the game. So that'll always kind of stand out to me. But of course, the Champions League, like we got to the last 32 in the Champions League, and we played Bristol, which kind of opened my eyes up to the disparity between the Irish league and then towards the English league at that time. And we played a Bristol team, and it was like Mary Earps in goal, Sophie Ingle, Tash Harden, Angharad James, like these were all, yeah, it was crazy. And I just remember them being like faster and stronger than us, and I was like, how do I get like that, you know? And then yeah, it took the jump then to get to Arsenal to understand that side of the game as well. So
how did that happen, the jump to Arsenal? How did it all come about?
I was playing a game for Raheny up in Castlebar in County Mayo. To be fair, it must have been Shelbourne at the time because Raheny changed to Shelbourne as a club. And my phone went, and I thought, this is an English number. I don't know anyone that's in England other than Emma Byrne, but Emma and like Niamh Fahey and stuff would come up on my phone. So I answered it, and I was like, hello. And it was Pedro, the manager of Arsenal at the time. And I was thinking, oh my God, like what is going on here? Anyways, he spoke to me and said he'd seen our Ireland-Portugal game. We beat Portugal 2-1, and I'd got 2 assists. And he just said he was interested in meeting me and speaking to me. And I was like, of course. Like, then we arranged to come over, and I'd signed, I think, on the 23rd of December, 2015. So it just happened really quick. I told Emma Byrne off, to be honest with you, because I was like, you didn't even give me a heads up that he was going to call me. Like, imagine if I didn't answer the phone. What then, you know? So, yeah, no, it all happened really quick. There was no agents really involved back then. It was just, so come on over, have a look. We want to sign you. And of course, you're never going to say no to Arsenal wanting to sign you. So, signed it.
And how did you celebrate that moment? Such a big, significant moment in your career.
I didn't really celebrate it. Like, I think I was just like, right, I need to get to work. And I remember just like working on my fitness so much before I flew over to officially move in the January, because it was the summer league. You remember, like 10 years ago, it was the summer league. And yeah, I remember just being like, right, let's get to work. I need to make an impact here. I need to be, if I'm not going to be quicker or stronger than them, I need to just be fit. That's something I can control. And I remember working really hard on my fitness to go over. And I remember saying to Jordan Nobbs, actually, I'd finished 3rd in the fitness test that winter break, and everyone was like, who's this kid? And Emma didn't even think I was like that fit, but I was like, no, I need to make sure I leave an impact here. And yeah, just kind of got going from there.
And were you nervous at all starting at Arsenal?
Yeah, for sure. Like when you're going into a club like Arsenal, knowing the history, with the dressing room they had, like Emma Byrne, Rachel Yankee, Kelly Smith, Alex Scott, Casey Stoney. They just signed Farrah Williams that window. Big characters like Mitchie, Dan Carter, Jordan Nobbs. Like me and Leah Williamson were like just these like young players, looking up to these like icons of the game, and you're just trying to like take it all in and just learn and absorb as much as possible. And yeah, I'd like obviously we're still here at the club to this day, so yeah, I think we must have listened a fair bit, to be honest.
How does it feel kind of going from that dressing room where you felt like a youngster, sort of hadn't played with them before, and kind of looking up to these icons, and now kind of being so much embedded into Arsenal's history, becoming one of those icons yourself when the youngsters are now coming into Arsenal? Does it feel like a full circle moment?
Yeah, for sure, because I'm trying to educate the kids on what it means to be an Arsenal player now, like the girls did back then for me. And if I didn't have that help, I wouldn't have maybe understood what it meant to represent a club like Arsenal, or understood the weight of winning when you're wearing the Arsenal shirt. So yeah, I do feel like a sense of duty to make sure to put your arm around the new girls that are coming in, and understanding the culture of the club, the legacy that's been left by these players, and yeah, our philosophies and how we play. And the ultimate, the history. Like Arsenal are the most successful English team ever. 2 Champions Leagues, and we've created that, so we need to maintain it. And when you've got new players coming in, it's important that they understand that as well.
I mean, you're a massive part of Arsenal's history. I mean, I'm just doing some research and sort of all the accolades. It's unbelievable. I mean, just these are some of them. So 2018-19 led Arsenal obviously to the WSL title win, played the most minutes of any player in the squad. 2020 tied in the league for assists and made the PFA Team of the Year. 2022 goal of the season against Man City. November 2023, 250 appearances for Arsenal. And then obviously, I mean, this summer in Lisbon, the Champions League title. I mean, out of all those accolades that you've had, I mean, I've just listed a few, but which ones are the ones that have stood out for you if you had to pick?
The Champions League, for sure, like that is number one. Without a doubt, for us to do that in Lisbon, and the whole sort of competition itself, like starting from the very start right until the end, no team has done that before, so we're very proud of that, and I'm very proud to be part of that with the girls. I'd also have to put in our first league title win. I think that's like 6-7 years ago now. So we need to get another one of those. But yeah, they'd be my top 2. I think your firsts are always so special. And watching the club invest in the women's game so much over the last 10 years, seeing the trajectory it's gone, for us to kind of win that Champions League, like, epitomised everything we'd been working towards the last couple of years. And obviously 18 years since the club first ever done it. So yeah, really, really special to be part of that.
And how was the Champions League celebration? I mean, obviously it must have been such a massive moment. You could see how tearful everyone was once you'd lifted the trophy, and then obviously doing the parade outside the stadium as well. The celebrations were obviously iconic as always. I mean, yeah, you're kind of known for, you know, creating those really cool moments. But yeah, how was it? How was it to kind of, what were you feeling in those moments?
I think in the game, towards the end of the game, I just felt in control. I felt like that we were in control. We might not have had the ball towards the end of that game, but we were in control. The substitutions, the girls coming on, making an impact, seeing the game out. So I felt pretty calm. When I speak to the girls that were watching those last 10 minutes, totally different story. It's weird how when you're on the pitch, how much you feel more in control than when you're watching it off the pitch. So yeah, I guess when that final whistle blew, you're just looking for the closest player to kind of run towards and hug, and it was just pure elation. And not even like a weight lifted off our shoulders, because for that whole campaign, like we went and played like some of the best teams in Europe, coming back from 1-2 goal deficits. So we kind of showed that we were capable of becoming the champions of Europe, and it was just about overcoming Barcelona and how we were going to do that. But we had a quiet confidence about us. Of course, we respected Barcelona for all they've achieved and the quality they have on the pitch, but we're also very confident in ourselves and the ability we have as a team. And it was going to take a team and squad effort to beat Barcelona on that day. So it was just pure happiness. And then obviously everyone having their loved ones in the crowd, the people close to them. We had a gathering at the hotel afterwards as well, where you're able to share the evening and share that memory with your nearest and dearest as well. So just really, really special, and it topped off a massive season. But for a lot of us in that team, it was not just a season, but it was maybe a 10-year. It was like a decade of work, you know. So yeah, no, it was absolutely amazing. And even going to the trophy lift, I think I had hit the headlines in a couple of ways. But for me, like, I worked so hard and all year round, and the sacrifices you make, not seeing your family, not seeing your nieces, nephews, or different things, for us to win. Yeah, the motto "work hard, sort of play hard" thing that was me that weekend. It was a whole career's worth of work, winning that Champions League trophy. So I was kind of absolutely enjoy it for sure.
And obviously with the WU band, a lot of it is about recovery and how to kind of, you know, manage your body and get yourself back into good shape for the next games.
I'd love to. I don't know where my phone is. I can check what my recovery was after that.
I'd love to see it.
Is my phone there, Brent?
Is this going to be a quick recovery or a long recovery? Like, what's the...
So the recovery, it'd be like your recovery scores. So it would be your green zone, yellow amber zone, or your red zone. But it gives you a percentage. Right, here we go. You want to see it?
Yes, please.
Ready?
Is that 5%?
Yeah. And I got 3 hours, 48 minutes sleep.
How long did it take you to get back to a normal level of like functioning?
So I was peak for Saturday, red zone Sunday, red zone Monday, red zone Tuesday, and then I was green on the Wednesday.
That's a pretty good transition, to
Yeah.
be fair. Yeah. In terms of your best friends within the squad, and sort of how long you've been there and the kind of friendships that you've built, who would you say are sort of your ride or dies within Arsenal?
Oh yeah. Probably Beth, to be honest. Like, we've been through, she came a year after me. We've lived together, we've killed each other, we've laughed, we've cried, we've done everything. Like, she's so, yeah, I'm so close to her. I'm so proud of her doing so well, obviously, with the Lionesses. Even like obviously Chloe Kelly coming back in, like me and Chloe were like two kids playing for Arsenal. I think everyone thinks we were like arch enemies, but when she was playing for Man City at the time, but now we've always been so close. I've always respected her so much. It's great having Chloe come back. So yeah, no, I think like Beth would definitely be up there. Obviously, like there's been such a transition over the last like year or two with players kind of coming in and players departing. Yeah, I guess it's changed over time. Like at the start, it would have been like Farah, Michi, Emma Byrne, Vicky Losada. And then obviously Viv came, Lisa Evans. So it changes over time. But yeah, Beth's been there from the start. So yeah, definitely be Beth.
I love that. And in terms of Chloe Kelly, obviously I think a lot of people think you guys were big rivals, enemies on the pitch.
And we were to an extent, you know.
Moment.
Yeah, no, we were to an extent. Like, she's representing Man City, I'm representing Arsenal. We're both going for the same things. We both want those 3 points and to win trophies. So you're going to fight with that edge, and Chloe's always had that edge to her, and so have I, and there's a mutual respect there. We always know what happens on the pitch stays on the pitch, and you kind of laugh about it after. The viral moment was not ideal, but look, you learn and you look back on these things, and obviously we can laugh about it, but yeah, that's safe to say that doesn't happen in training, put it that way.
And who came up with the Arsenal social content for her signing when you guys did that back at each other again?
I did.
You came up with that?
I did. I think that now, listen, the Arsenal media team are unbelievable, but I'm taking that because I suggested, obviously we heard Chloe was coming to the club, and we were in training that day, and I was asking when is she coming in to obviously do her signings and stuff, and they said in the evening. I said, well, I've got an idea. I'll come back and we can do like a reenactment of the throw-in. And they were like, no way, will you? And I was like, yeah, no, I'll come back for it. Like, it'll be pretty funny. Break the ice as well, because I hadn't seen her in a while. So yeah, I came up with that one.
How did Chloe take it when she first
She was
had the
laughing.
idea?
Yeah, no. I mean, if she was uncomfortable with it, she wouldn't have done it, of course. But yeah, we still laugh about it to this day, to be honest with you. So yeah, she's a great character, great personality, and I'm delighted to have her back in a red shirt, to be honest.
And obviously you're known in the WSL for your big game energy, for the passion, for the kind of the cheeky chappiness, I suppose, which everyone loves. You're an Arsenal favourite. Do you think it's sort of super important that players are able to express themselves and kind of show their personalities and the funny sides and kind of that tongue-in-cheek moments, I suppose?
Yeah, it's character, isn't it? You don't want 11 robots on the pitch. Like, you don't want everyone being the same. You want to see that skill and the flair and the heart on the sleeve type players and tackles flying in. And I admire that in my opponents, you know. You admire, there's a lot of qualities that some of my opponents have where you say, oh, the game needs a bit of that, you know. So yeah, for me, like I'm an all-in type of player. I am, yeah, I wear my heart on my sleeve when I'm playing, and I take a lot of pride in representing Arsenal as a football club, and I'm gonna give it 100% no matter what game. And of course, when you're playing in high pressure games and situations, and there's more eyes on the game, does emotions kind of spill over that sweet spot? Absolutely. And can you reflect and change and look to kind of put it right in the future? Of course. But yeah, I'd never hide away from being the player I am. If I wasn't that player or anything was kind of taken away, I wouldn't be who I am today. So yeah, for sure there's yeah, a lot more to give. But of course in a good in a good way, you know.
And everyone we've spoken to on this series is a huge figure in the public eye. And I know you've mentioned maybe where the media, there's been a sort of raised attention around WSL players, definitely recently, especially with, you know, what players get off the pitch as well. How have you kind of dealt with that transition, there being more attention around players?
Yeah, I think like from being in the club from when there was no one really watching, maybe like a handful of people, to where it's at now, where we're selling out stadiums week in, week out. Yeah, there is a pull on your private life. You might not be able to necessarily do the things that you were able to do a couple of years back, but that's where we want to be at. We want more eyes on the game. We want more fans coming in and watching us. We want more people at home watching us on the TV. Fans flying in from all over the world to come buy tickets and see us play. So that's the price we pay, unfortunately. But yeah, I think like for me personally, we've got a great support with Arsenal and the football club to help protect anything we need in terms of our private life. So it's having that support, and I hope obviously other players throughout the league do have that support from their clubs as well. And yeah, I think leaning on each other. I think like for us as players, yes, our public image has gone up, and you're following on Instagram and whatnot. But you can kind of relate to the girls and your teammates and kind of chat through as well. And yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, we have to kind of accept that.
And do you think there are any downsides to being so well recognised and well known?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when people are filming you, if you're eating or coffee or this and that, you know, it's like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me, because like we're there to play football or whatever like that. But it's part and parcel of it. I do encourage fans, like if you see me, come say hi and grab a photo rather than the secret filming. But yeah, everyone loves the TikTok these days. Yeah, but I'm always very open if you see fans. If you're in and around London, yeah, I'm always pretty open for a selfie here and there.
This is going to go viral now.
Oh yeah,
non-stop. You're a bit of a LGBTQ plus icon, and you've always been sort of quite open and honest about your relationships.
Yeah.
How have you kind of found this experience now media attention has increased?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot more accepting in our game. I had the chance to come out with a brand over in Ireland a few years ago in one of my previous relationships, and it was something that I wanted to do because I think for me and my profile and given me being a role model to so many young girls over in Ireland especially, it was at the heart of the launch back in Ireland. So I felt like it was important for me to use my profile to encourage young girls. And look, for me, looking back on it, if I was able to change one person's life with that, that's me doing my job, you know. Off the back of that launch, there was a lot of positivity, and a lot of fans and people kind of reached out of all ages. It's not just young girls. I had young guys kind of reach out to me, older women. Like there was a lot of variety and people, and yeah, it was a massive success in my opinion. So yeah, I think the game has obviously grown in the right direction. Another club does a lot with gay gooners as well, which is, yeah, it's super cool, I think, and it's a lot more accepting, but we just need to keep driving that as much as we can.
And one of the people who definitely does look up to you is your sister, Lauren, who currently plays for Bohemian under-19s. Obviously, you guys are super, super close. What has that kind of been like, seeing your sister go through some of the things that you went through and looking at where she wants to take her career?
Yeah, of course. Like, I think she's got such a talent. And yes, I've been there and kind of know the answers, but it's not me just kind of telling her the answers. She needs to kind of figure things out herself and in game scenarios and where she can improve and what she wants to improve on, because I can tell her everything, but ultimately if she doesn't want to do it, then she won't do it, you know. So, but she's so engaged and loves football and loves meeting the girls whenever she comes over. Massive impacts in terms of the Irish team as well. She really wants to look to represent Ireland at a senior level one day. So she's hungry, she's determined, and she wants to get to where I am in terms of being a professional footballer. And I'm so thankful that that opportunity is there for her, and it's clear that that is an opportunity for her if she wants to go in that direction. And it just shows all the good we've done, and people, journalists, players, managers, coaches, referees, everyone's doing the good thing for the women's game and making it better and making it more accessible. So yeah, I'm excited to see how her career pans out, and yeah, I'll be her biggest fan for sure.
Until you have to play against each other at some point.
I'll kick her. That's absolutely certain.
Talking of Ireland, you've obviously been a part of the senior Irish team since 2015, but in the underage group since 2010.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about the highs and lows of that journey?
So many highs, so many lows. Yeah, I mean, the biggest high is just being able to pull that green shirt over my head. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. Looking up to, as I said, Damien Duffy, Emma Burns, representing the country, and it's something I take massive pride in, and something I'm very passionate about. Yeah, representing Ireland since I was 14, which is like 16 years ago now, because I'm 30. But yeah, it's crazy how quick time flies, you know. It's that underage setup and the structures we have in Ireland is so important because it gave me the opportunity to progress and represent my country at all ages, and it gave me the opportunity then off the back of our Euros and the under-19s to step into the senior team. So having those structures in place in Ireland is so important, and we need to keep hold of that. And yeah, I guess in terms of the highs, like that World Cup we qualified for back in, it would have been the October 2022, was, yeah, incredible. Like I actually can't describe the feeling when the referee kind of blew the whistle at full time against Scotland. Just knowing that you're something you've worked for so long, and you're going with your mates you've played with since you're 15. So now it's it was really, really special, and to walk out in Australia, in Sydney, in that stadium, and I swear it was like we were playing in Ireland. Like it was just like a sea of green. When the anthem went, singing around the Naveen, your family in the crowd, it was such a special moment, and something that, yeah, I'll absolutely never forget.
We absolutely have to talk about the incredible goal that you scored at the Women's World Cup in 2023. First ever goal scorer for the Republic of Ireland. The goal also won the 2023 Ireland International Goal of the Year. I mean, describe that moment when you saw it go in, because it was such an incredible goal. Yeah, from the corner.
I hadn't scored from a corner in like 10 years, I'd say, like playing for Raheny probably. But it was interesting, our target area for the corners, given obviously kind of the setup, so it was towards the back post, and thankfully in Perth it was raining and windy and whatnot, so I just put a bit of curl on it. I knew obviously Lou Quinn and Niamh Fahey were kind of running towards the back post, but what actually happened, like the goalkeeper stepped a step towards the front post, and then once it took flight, like it was just going in, she wouldn't have got it. So yeah, everything kind of just worked in my favour really. But yeah, I mean, the celebrations, like when I was going over to take the corner, it was like being in Dublin. It was like, this stadium was very similar to where we play in Tallaght Stadium, and it was raining, windy, and you can just hear, "Go on, Katie," like as if we were back home. And it kind of brought a smile to my face because I was like, oh, we've actually got a lot of support here. And yeah, having took the corner, and then I think by my celebration, I kind of just turned and embraced the crowd, and it was more so like just sharing that moment with everybody, because I knew everyone would be watching back home. We'd never scored or been in a World Cup before, so I know ultimately we lost the game, but to give like Irish fans and people back home that moment to kind of celebrate our goal was really special. And yeah, I just felt like so blessed that I was able to be the one to do that.
And how did it feel as captain, taking the team to the World Cup? I mean, that's such a massive moment, but did you feel sort of an additional sense of responsibility, kind of accountability? I mean, what was the pressure like?
Yeah, I think like when I'd got the captaincy, when I was 21 after Emma had stepped away, I was kind of a bit of like feeling a bit of like an imposter syndrome type thing, being like, what would Emma think or what would Emma do, rather than understanding that like I was giving it because I'm me and my character and what I bring. And it took me a bit of time to kind of figure that out and kind of stand on my own 2 feet. But having the support of like a lot of the senior players at the time that were much older than me, and that I still look up to and like respected so much and valued their opinion, they really helped me kind of transition into that role. And because we'd never qualified for a tournament and then accepting the captaincy, I knew there was an opportunity to do something for the first time. So yeah, I worked so hard with the team. The whole all of the team, all the girls were absolutely brilliant, and there's a whole core group of players there that were there for a long time, who got over the line to get to the World Cup. And yeah, a lot of work on the pitch, a lot of work off the pitch, in terms of getting the right standards in order for us to perform. So yeah, it was a massive responsibility, and only when that final whistle blew in Scotland did I feel kind of the weight of the nation kind of rise off my shoulders, thinking, no, we've done it this time. So, but there's still room for more. There's still room for more improvement. I still want to get us to a Euros. Still want to try go again and qualify for the World Cup. So we're still hungry to kind of keep pushing and keep going.
But I mean, the impact that you've had, even off the pitch, has been huge as well. I mean, yourself and the men's captain, Seamus Coleman, were a massive part of the FIA announcing that they would be implementing equal pay for men's and women's teams in September 2021. I mean, that was a huge moment off the pitch. I mean, what did that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of stemmed from a conversation me and Seamus had at an appearance we done for the FAI in, I think it was like for Nissan or something, and we just got chatting, and I told him our conditions. He opened up and kind of explained their conditions. That wouldn't have happened only for Seamus Coleman. I think the FAI take a lot of credit for that, but Seamus Coleman spoke to their senior leadership group within the team, and ultimately they pulled down their payment structure to uplift ours so we could meet and become equal. So that deal wouldn't have happened if Seamus hadn't have kind of instigated it, for sure.
Just some final reflections now on the future of Katie McCabe. The final section is just a bit of a wrap of an overview of your career and just sort of what the next chapter looks like for you. So who's the best player you've ever played against?
That's a big question. I mean, I've played against so many quality players, like playing against Viv, Ireland versus the Netherlands. That was tough. Yeah, I'd say Viv, when we had to play against the Netherlands. She's, especially in that stage of her career, she's unstoppable. Of course, there's so much talent, and there's so much kind of battles over the years. But yeah, Viv Miedema is a standout, and I was very thankful she was in my Arsenal team and not anyone else's.
What's the biggest challenge or mistake or regret in your career so far?
No regrets, because ultimately everything kind of happened for a reason, and it's what led me to be here. Challenge, I honestly think when I broke my leg when I was like 18, that was a massive mental challenge, because I thought I was like untouchable almost, but breaking my leg kind of grounded me a lot, thinking, oh, okay, I need to kind of really look after myself, rehabbed. And I think being injured at that time for so long taught me a different kind of way of being a footballer and understanding your physical kind of capacity and overcoming rehab. So yeah, I think that would probably be the biggest challenge.
And what's the biggest highlight over your international and also club career so far?
International career would be the World Cup, qualifying and then playing at the World Cup. And yeah, club would have to be winning the Champions League back in May. So yeah, that was a no-brainer.
And what is your WUP age?
My WUP age is 20.7. See, athlete. Work hard, play hard. That's it. 20.7.
That's directly up.
I'm proud of that, to be honest. 9.3 years younger versus actual age. Yeah.
What would you put that down to?
my consistency, I think, like my eating habits, my sleeping habits, my training habits. Like I do train hard. I train how I play, but it's how I recover from that as well. It's using all the tools around my recovery strategies, whether it's soft tissue, sauna, ice bath, Normatex. Got my Whoop blue light glasses that I wear in the evenings for my screen time if I'm watching TV or on my phone and whatnot. So yeah, I've got I'm very lucky to have all those things around my recovery, so I make use of it wherever I can and switch off when I can as well.
What is your craziest football story that you can reveal?
Throwing the ball off Chloe Kelly's head.
If you could change one thing about the women's football industry, what would it be?
Women's football industry. You know what, lately that I don't understand is broadcasters doing live interviews with managers and players. I think, yeah, it's a no go for me. I can't understand it. Don't know why they need it or it's necessary. There's a lot of pundits and post-match, pre-match interviews they do on the build-up to games and after games. So, yeah, I cannot relate to that one. Broadcasters won't be happy with me saying that, but that's how I feel.
What do you do for fun outside of football? Like, what makes you laugh and feel carefree?
You know what? Like, we don't get like a lot of free time. It's more so you come home, recover, chill out, and then you're back in training the next day. But I almost like, because we're on the road a lot and we're traveling, whether it's Champions League or away games and stuff. It's more so the camaraderie on the bus, the crack you have with the girls. I've got a little Monopoly group going with Les, Caitlin and Beth. Steph comes in occasionally, but it's just kind of switching off and having the crack with the girls in our downtime whenever we can. So yeah, that'd be mine.
What's the happiest you've ever been in your career?
Winning the Champions League. Best 3 days of my life.
And your Whoop can prove it.
Yes.
What does life look like for Katie McCabe after football?
I don't know. I think like there's a lots of different avenues that I can go down in terms of obviously the game getting bigger, you know, all the punditry side of things, the coaching. I am currently doing my UEFA B coaching badges, and I feel like given the amazing coaching I've had over my career, I feel like there's an opportunity to give back to the next generation of players. So yeah, who knows? I could be in sort of a coaching role in the post-career. I think like seeing obviously Kelly come back in and work with us at Arsenal, and the respect she has from the girls, working with the club and giving her knowledge. Yeah, it's amazing. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe some sort of coaching role in the future. But yeah, who knows? A few more years left of playing before.
With Arsenal or Ireland?
Coaching with Arsenal or Ireland. Whoever will have me, to be honest. Wherever there's an opening. Listen, I'd love to go back and after my career, coach Ireland, of course. That'd be like an unbelievable honour. I guess it's just timing, right? Seeing where you're at, seeing when I complete my badges. If I complete my badges, maybe I'm not that good. So, but yeah, I'd love one day maybe to represent my country from a coaching point of view for sure.
And what kind of legacy do you want to leave?
For me, I just want to leave the game in a better place than I inherited it. Whether that's in an Arsenal shirt or an Ireland shirt, I want to make sure I'm doing whatever I can do to improve the game, improve the standards around the training grounds, whether that's in Ireland, the team operations, our performance levels, our service levels, always pushing for more. Because yeah, look, that's what the players did before I came in and represented Arsenal and Ireland. So yeah, for me, it's just about leaving the game in a better place than when I started.
Love that. And that's it. That's the end.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
No, thank you so much for
wrap.
that. That was lovely.
Thank you.